shut down.
And officials say that the slowdown and the shutdown, albeit temporary, could last for several days. Investors remained calm on Wall Street after yesterday's Supreme Court ruling. It made big ripples in the economic world as far as shutting down the president's tariffs, but investors took it all in stride. It was a Dow Jones Industrial Average at the end of the day up by 230 points. The NASDAQ up by 203. You'll find more of these stories at
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. That's 800-257-3148.
It's time to wake up.
Yes!
And lock in to On the Rise.
Yes!
With host Mike Napolitano.
Cub fans have every right to be disappointed if this Cubs team continues on the trajectory that they're on and they miss the playoffs or, at best, get a wild card spot. You are cooked at that point.
Mamma mia!
Dalton Cooper.
Like, I would look out for my friends and be like, hey, you know, if you're ranking a little bit, I'm gonna let you know. I feel like that's a good friend. I'd be like, hey, did you smell yourself, or did you maybe did you fart? But something doesn't smell right.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And Nick Johnston.
For the most part, to be fair, I don't want to completely, justify a sweep, but the Royals are red hot right now. Vinny Pasquantino might be Ted Williams reincarnated. I'm just kind of throwing that out there.
On WRMN 1410 AM, the voice of the Valley.
And welcome in, everybody, on the Rise, WRMN 1410, live in the morning on the YouTube side, on the radio side of things. All good over here. Nick Johnson over here on the ones and twos. Dalton Cooper to my left. How you doing this morning, Dalton?
Good. How are you?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Ready to rock and roll.
We got a lot on the plate today.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
We have the biggest day of the history of North American hockey tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
Which is, I'm sure we'll get into that in a little bit later.
Yeah, gold medal game right around the corner. That'll be bright and early. Wait for that one. 7 a.m. start time. Am I correct?
Yeah. 7:15. Did you see that Canada, the province of Ontario, has approved alcohol sales at 6 a.m. tomorrow? Normally, and by the way, I do have friends in Canada. Normally, that you can't purchase alcohol until 11 a.m.
Okay.
During the week, regular days or whatever. But tomorrow, at 6 a.m. So get out bright and early.
Yeah, get going. Get fueled up all there. There you go. We have tons to get to today as we're rocking and rolling. We're going to talk about some Hammond, Indiana Bears. Is that what we're getting into?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're going to talk some Bears talk.
We have to.
We got to talk a little bit of baseball. We got our interview with Scott Darling later on today. Our main man, Mike, just waltzed on in, so we got to get him in there. You got to slide on in there, Jim, as I sip on my official soft drink of the MLB. I don't know if you guys already saw that.
Oh, yeah, the Baja. Mm-hmm. Yeah, heck yeah.
Now, I know we'll maybe get to it, but...
How's Taco Bell feel about that?
Exactly. Some will say that Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier is the most important day in baseball. As of Wednesday... As a Mountain Dew fan, I'm going to have to disagree. But...
And I'm right back.
Mamma mia, you did not...
What? I mean, it was a great day. It was a very important day when Jackie Robinson made history. But I again, just as a Mountain Dew fan, as a connoisseur, as a consumer, Wednesday was awesome. I'm not saying it's going to immediately overtake it. Time will tell.
Is it made in America, by the way? Do they tariff on Mountain Dew?
I'm not entirely sure.
That's a good question.
Not.
What's it say on what they'll see on the can? Where's it produced at?
Yeah, well, I'll get to that.
Because that might be a big deal too. You never know.
With purchase in New York.
That'd be quite the backfire.
With the geopolitical state of affairs that we're in as a country right now.
You make the announcement and then boom.
I mean, things need to be said.
That's crazy.
I had to get to.
You took that in such a direction. I never.
Wow.
Oh, that's great. Good job, Nick.
Well,
Good job.
Well, like I said, we'll
You
talk a
broke
little.
me.
We'll talk a little baseball, of course. We'll get to that, of course. But the big news, if you're living under a rock in the Chicagoland area, and that's like I say, the Chicagoland area, not just Chicago itself, the Chicagoland area, is exactly this: Hammond, Indiana, and the Bears, the new plot site. Whether this is just leverage talk or if this is legit.
This seems legit.
Go ahead, Mike.
This seems legit now. I mean, we've been mulling over this for 5 years about whether or not it's going to be Arlington Heights, and then even in the last year, last half year, I guess it was when Indiana said, "Hey, come on over here." And this sounds legitimate now. This sounds like this is. Pretty much, they've come to the conclusion that it's not going to happen here in Illinois or the Chicagoland area in general, and Indiana is willing to throw a boatload of money at the Bears, and how can you say no to that? Now, I have two issues with this, and I'll let you guys get into this, but first and foremost, yes, the Illinois lawmakers and politicians, because this is an atrocity. This is Chicago's team. This is one of your biggest revenue makers when it comes to professional sports, and you're just going to let them walk because you can't come up with a deal. You can't come up with a deal in the city limits. It's been 5 years. You can't come up with a deal in Arlington Heights or any neighboring suburb, so you're just going to let them go to a complete other state. Yes, I understand it's only a half an hour away, but we all know here in Chicago that half an hour on game day is going to be an extra hour and a half. And we all know that even just being across state lines let's be honest, let's just be real. That area of Indiana, not the best area. I know it's being built up. There's going to be a casino there soon. I believe Hard Rock's already open, but
yeah, there's a Hard Rock in the area
listen,
already.
It's going to be built up, but that's not the ideal place that you don't want to lose the Bears. Now, number two, the McCaskies. You look at SoFi Stadium and everything that has gone on in Southern California, and not only have some of those stadiums not been built with taxpayer dollars. I mean, yes, roads and infrastructure sometimes has to come into play, and that's where the politicians, I do see their point to an extent, and I'm talking tiny. But when you look at the ownership groups of those teams out in California, they were billionaires willing to spend the money. The McCaskies are looking for a handout. At what point do you have to say, if we are not willing to spend the money on this team, we need to sell the team for the betterment of the fans, the team, the league, the sport, the town,
the city.
Literally everybody. So everyone is at fault here. And the fact that the Bears are even leaving the state of Illinois, but they're still in the Chicagoland area. The fact that they're leaving the state of Illinois, as of what we're told right now, is an atrocity. And I don't want to point the finger at Kevin Warren and some of the Bears front office of course, this is an ownership decision, but Kevin Warren's the guy that has to come out and make these announcements. And I think they've done a great job with the team on the field. We saw what just happened this past year. We see what this Bears team is building towards. But now it's almost like Kevin Warren has to come out and be the bad guy and be like, listen, guys, we're moving, and I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, I don't think it was officially made, or if at this point it's not very popular that this has been kind of been portrayed. But I believe Mayor Johnson has come out and said they're out of Chicago. They're not out of Illinois entirely just yet, but they are out of Chicago as of pretty much this week.
Yeah, 15 miles south, by the way. That's
Okay.
how far it is between Chicago and Hammond. So.
Yeah.
It sounded pretty much a done deal that they were out of Illinois one day, and then literally the next day it was, oh no, but wait, and it's like, yeah, but we've heard this before. So me hearing yesterday that the Bears are for sure going to Hammond, Indiana, felt like such a strong put your foot down type moment. But
Grant in the chat.
Grant in the chat, I love it. Hammond Bears, gross.
No, I was talking about we need a real American hero to save the Bears. Bring in Megan Keller. I have the statement that was made on Instagram by the Bears. So the passage of Super Bowl 27 would mark the most meaningful step forward in our stadium. Planning efforts to date, we are committed to finishing the remaining site-specific necessary due diligence to support our vision to build a world-class stadium near the Wolf Lake area in Hammond, Indiana. We appreciate the leadership shown by Governor Braun, Speaker Hudson, Senator Blah, and members of the Indiana General Assembly in establishing the critical framework and path forward to deliver a premier venue for all Chicagoland and a destination for Bears fans and visitors from across the globe. We value our partnership and look forward to continue building our working relationship together. Signed, the Bears. Now, the big thing to me is that this bill passed unanimously in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was no thought, there was no nothing, there was no like speak now or forever hold your peace moment. And the fact that the tax certainty, I feel like, was the big issue, right? If I'm recalling correctly, between the Bears and the city of Chicago and everything, which I can kind of understand, because I think if you look around the league at the NFL, I think the highest like property tax is LA, and that's SoFi, and I think it's right around like $8 million a year.
Yeah.
Where the city in Arlington Heights they were going to be looking somewhere north of like $20 million a year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And California is supposed to have the highest tax rate in the country. So the fact that they're kind of going back and forth on that, I can kind of see from a business standpoint, but it's definitely a blemish.
New York might be getting there.
Yeah. Well, they don't even
10%.
They don't even play in New York though. They play in New Jersey. That's what's crazy.
Right. I'm talking outside of football.
And that's a lot of people's other points too. It's just the Giants and the Jets, they play in New Jersey. I mean, it should be the Arlington Cowboys, not the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
I pointed this out when we were talking just Super Bowl. I mean, the Niners play closer to San Jose than they do San Francisco.
They play in Santa Clara, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. It's insane.
I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays, they're not in Tampa.
No,
we can just be.
That's a natural disaster. That's a little bit different.
Well, even before that.
That's fair. They played in St. Pete.
Tropicana is St. Petersburg,
which was like awful too because there's one way in and one way out.
Yeah.
But
So for all those, I mean, I'm kind of on the side of almost just short of who cares, honestly.
Yeah,
I truly don't care where they play. If the Chicago Bears played in Alaska, I don't care. I truly don't care because I'm on the maybe unpopular out loud opinion where going to live football games, I don't think that's the best way to watch football anymore.
That's fair.
It's just not the best thing. So sitting out there in the freezing cold tundra.
Well, it's gonna be indoor, isn't it?
Maybe we'll see.
Okay.
But just right as of right now, like, Chicago, you got to embrace the cold. No, cold sucks. Like, we don't like that. We don't care. It doesn't make or break us being a Chicagoan.
I don't think it gives you enough of an advantage as it used to anymore. Well, and that sounds contradictory because back, way back in the start of the NFL, there weren't a whole lot of domes. In fact, there were probably no domes. So, everybody was playing in whatever weather they were thrown at. But I don't think I think it gives Caleb Williams and the Bears an advantage to an extent, but you still get a team like Matthew Stafford and the Rams that come in here that, look at how they play in sub-zero games, and Matthew Stafford's never won in good weather, and he's always played in domes, and they still won. And it comes down to, how you play on the field and coaching. And yes, we could go back to, should Ben Johnson have taken those points early on? Yeah, you kick yourself later on that. But I don't think playing in the cold is as much of an advantage as people make it out to be. It is. Don't get me wrong.
I'm going to say definitely. As a Miami Dolphins fan, I can tell you the weather is a huge difference between your teams
Miami
play
Dolphins.
and not play. The other thing, too, is are you worried as a fan that if you have to sit indoors in a warmer stadium that your Mountain Dew will be warmer?
Oh, no, because it's always on ice, baby.
Okay, just making sure. I know that was a big topic this morning.
Hey, alcohol won't freeze like it was at this. Was it the Packers matchup or was it the Rams one?
I think it had to be the Rams.
At Soldier Field, the stuff was just frozen before it was even getting out to people. Yeah, that's insane. But that just shows you're basically drinking bread-flavored water, so...
Oh, man. A little bit.
And I don't know if this becomes a slippery slope, but
it will be, I'm sure.
I'm sure maybe, but all the Indiana lawmakers, this, that, and the other, just short of bending the knee, like, hey, come on over, like, come get a new brand new stadium. Aren't the Colts gonna want to put their hand up and be like, hey, where's our extra money funding and everything like that? Or am I completely like, is that just two different things going on?
I think it's different.
I think you have a point there, but I also think that if you're the Colts, it bodes well for you because now you get even more of a rivalry with the Bears, not just Super Bowl 2006. What number was that? Yeah. But you get a little bit. You get a little bit more reason to dislike the Bears, and even though you're not going to, maybe the schedule makers make it so that you play one game against each other a year rather than you see each other every 4 years. So
something like that.
I think it would end up being good for the Colts long term. Maybe build some of that internal competition because now you are within state lines. It's not. Once again, it's not the biggest move. You're still within the Chicagoland area, so I think the Colts are looking at it like, all right, they're still our neighbors that far to the north. But, yeah, I do see where they're like, hey, if you're willing to give them all this kind of money, why weren't you willing to give us? But at the same time, the Colts, I think, are sitting there going, we have our fairly new stadium.
Exactly. Lucas Oil Stadium isn't like in a need for renovations right now.
Yeah,
but again, I'm sure they're just sitting there like the redheaded stepchild, like,
right,
hey, where's our attention?
No way.
But this goes back to your point the Indiana lawmakers didn't even hesitate. And I think the reason why is because this is a slam dunk for them. Now, yes, the Bears as an organization, as much as we love the Bears here in Chicago, have been an absolute dumpster fire since '85, right? They haven't won a Super Bowl. They've had one or two good years since then. They made a 2-1 Super Bowl, but they come up short all the time, right? But if you're getting in on them now, while the getting's good, you see where the Bears are. And that might just be short term. That might not be long term. So you're putting a team perhaps long term within your state lines that, hey, maybe bad in 10 years, or maybe, let's hope this doesn't happen. But the Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson regime falls short of what it's supposed to be and they never win a Super Bowl. That's worst case scenario, right? But I think best case scenario, Indiana's looking at it as, okay, huge, another share of revenue from people that aren't within Indiana. You know how many Chicagoans will still take that trip over the state line? So now you're getting all this tourist money coming in and spending on yet another team. And I think it's going to pay out for anybody to build a stadium for the Bears at this point, whether that's Indiana, Arlington Heights, maybe not Chicago based on taxes, but I wouldn't hesitate either if I was Indiana.
I think it's hard to say it's going to do anything to the rivalry just because they play in different conferences.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about.
Like,
but
one plays in the NFC, one plays. If anything, I think you'll see them play a lot more maybe preseason, like OTAs, because obviously logistics makes a lot more sense. It's only 2 hours, 2.5 hours away, but also just this all involves politics and just the political side of like. Even the Chicagoland area, including Hammond and the Indianapolis area, I think they're two totally different like ecosystems. Like they're two totally different worlds, if you will, when it comes to that line of thinking. So I don't think it'll do much to the rivalry, but like you said, I think it's a huge win for Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be nothing but positives right there. That's exactly right. I mean, is there? I guess is it distraction on top of distraction now? I don't think this affects the players necessarily. In terms of what they're,
season ticket holders are probably the biggest people affected.
Yeah,
by this whole thing,
that's what I'm kind of waiting for. Is that late online they can be like, hey, I've been what the heck, I've been a season ticket holder for 30 plus years, 40 plus years, but it's been in my family. Again, it's going to be very, very, very like a long way of getting there. But my family, like this, that, and the other, they've had it forever. Like my grandma, she's so sick, I can't. Like the only way they go to games is this. So there's going to be like that sympathetic. Yeah. Really, really deep cutting, like close to home type story. I'm sure that'll hit the waves. But
when they mentioned prices going up by what 13% this coming season, I don't know if you saw that the Bears released it. Yeah, I think that was this week or maybe early last week where the season ticket prices were going to increase. I believe it was 13%.
And I'm sure that 13% is going to a legitimate parking lot and temporary renovations at Soldier Field so that it's easier to get in and out in the time being. Yeah, of course. Right. If you can't hear the sarcasm in my voice. Yeah.
But I kind of do get that argument of like, again, it's only a 20-minute difference of, going this way and going that way. You hear that complaint all the time with Soldier Field. Like it's awful getting in, awful getting out. And at the end of the day, again, it's going to sound, harsh or mean. And then all the meatball fans are going to get on me for this one. But, Soldier Field isn't the be all end all.
No, it's not.
It's an okay stadium. It's an okay field. Like,
I think anybody with a brain has that same argument.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Because-
it's
or
good
anybody
for-
who's been there, I should say.
yeah, it's cool for concerts and events. And again, the games are fine, but it's the only place that I know that they renovated and they lost like what 5,000-6,000 seats like that. They lost their historical status and everything like that. So
They didn't have that much room to begin with.
exactly, and they're still paying for it. So all that for what? To put a weird little spaceship at the top of the building? Like it's just, I don't know. I took away from this was exactly that. Like, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. At the end of the day, yes, I love my Bears. And, if they do well, I'm going to support and go out and I'll buy a hat and I'll buy a jersey and whatnot. If they're bad that year, I'll, put it to the wayside because my loyalty, of course, lies with my fantasy team. So that's, that's always going to be me. Again, I am an outlier in this sense, but I don't really... I truly don't understand all the, the meatball fans that called in on every radio station and had every podcast reaction and got on their Instagram live and said, I can't believe they're leaving us.
That's a good impression.
And they're doing it up and the laws. And no, it's just, it's still all going to be the same. Where they play geographically, does that really concern you at the end of the day? Are any fans... Like, do the Bears pay your paychecks? Do they sign your paychecks?
I'd love to see how Kansas City fans felt when they were finding out that literally the Chiefs were leaving.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, they're leaving Missouri
and at least
for
the Chiefs
Kansas.
and at least the Chiefs have been successful. They've won, 4 Super Bowls or 3 Super Bowls in the last, 6 years?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. Like,
They've
it's
had
not that big of
far
a deal.
more success. They're leaving. We've had, one good year in the past 20?
Yeah.
It should be cheaper too. Like from a fan standpoint, you would think like maybe the parking. Maybe not, but you would think like a little bit the price gouging would not be as high.
Take a
You would
note on
think
the
so.
Schaumburg Boomers playbook. Take
Free
some free parking, man.
Free parking, baby.
on.
Can't beat it. Yeah, no, we got Grant in the chat also saying that he agrees with the cold thing, but going
doesn't know what
back
he's talking
to
about.
going back to the Soldier Field thing, I don't even really like it for concerts. I'll be honest, the only thing that's going good for Soldier Field right now is Fire Games. Fire Games are entertaining there, and that's because it's a step up from SeatGeek Stadium, which used to be Toyota Park. And the Fire are even moving out
I
of
was
there.
just about to say,
And-
aren't they leaving too?
And when the Fire move out of there, how much do you want to bet? I understand that Northwestern and the Chicago Stars FC, the women's team, just signed a deal to put the Stars on the lakefront, but I don't know how long term of a deal that's going to be. The Chicago Stars already do a couple doubleheaders a year with the Chicago Fire at Soldier Field. How much do you want to bet the hub of Chicago soccer, men and women's, are going to end up going to the 78 and playing where the Fire play? I'm guessing both teams, so long as scheduling conflicts don't arise. But then you have room still supposedly to build another stadium there. Maybe the White Sox end up going there, and then Soldier Field becomes more obsolete than it already is.
Concert venue.
I
That's
understand.
what it really becomes.
And it should become a concert venue then at that point. I would agree. But even then, like I said, I don't like the acoustics in there. Getting in and getting out is still a problem. I think you still have to do, if you're the city of Chicago, I think you should still, and they're probably not going to because it would cost
boats.
money. I think you should, oh gosh, the boat idea, geez. I think you should still make renovations over there to make it a better concert venue rather than a stadium, to make it easier for people to get in and out, to make the acoustics better, to make it more of a park, to make it more of a landmark, maybe keep the columns like you were going to do with the initial Bears mock-up renovation, but they won't. And it'll still stay Soldier Field, and it'll stay vacant, and it will supposedly then become a big eyesore, is what a lot of people are saying. If there's no team playing out of it, it's just going to sit vacant and empty.
The Chicago Hounds would be sick in there.
Rugby
Play
team.
some rugby.
What's
Rugby
the
team.
boat? What's the boat?
To bring people across.
There were thoughts that, like, with the new renovation of Soldier Field, if it were to happen, there weren't going to be any parking lots, so they were going to boat people over from water taxi people from Navy Pier. Do you understand what months your Chicago Bears play in? There's not going to be any. Lace up your skates and get over there. You're not going to go on a boat.
You're going to look like George Washington crossing the Delaware.
It's going to be like the scene from.
That's tomorrow.
It's going to be the scene from what's the movie Polar Express, where you're sliding across the ice just to get to the game. Oh man! But did you see the city of Chicago exchanged parking city rights for a piece of land in Dubai? So they're going to become
the
Dubai,
UAE. They were selling like
Dubai
30,000.
Bears.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's Dubai Bears. Again.
Oh Lord!
Dubai Bears, Hammond Bears. Hopefully they just stay in Chicago. That's going to be the goal here.
That'd be the Hello Hammond Bears, not the Dubai Bears. It'd be the Hello Hammond Bears, right?
Would they bring back the Honey Bears? Because Honey Hammond? I don't know. We'll see.
Oh my God! Can you imagine the sponsorships with like the baked hams and stuff?
Honey baked hams.
Honey
man.
baked. Oh man.
Exactly.
Oh,
well,
Lord.
that's enough Bears talk for now. We'll get into that. As always, get your thoughts, questions, concerns on the YouTube side if you want to join in. And when we return, we're going to talk a little baseball.
Yeah.
It's back, baby.
Back.
Shout out to Jackie Robinson for walking so Mountain Dew could run.
Exactly.
Oh my
right.
gosh. What
exactly right. Now you're getting it. You're starting to get it. And hopefully we can see a couple other people run as well, as we had some White Sox and some Cubs baseball yesterday. Mooney getting a two-run double. We'll talk about it in just a little bit.
Now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com is the book called DUI Jury Trial, which is the true story of a truck driver in Illinois who was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. Not only was he facing a revocation of his driver's license, but also a lifetime disqualification of his CDL, which would prevent him from ever driving a semi-truck again. This book includes backstories of the truck driver, the lawyers that defended the case, and the DUI expert witness who analyzed the case and then testified at trial as to the proper protocol procedures of the field sobriety tests as well as the breathalyzer test. This nonfiction novel also includes the actual court transcript from the jury trial, a courtroom showdown in which the final verdict would determine the fate of the defendant's livelihood. The book DUI Jury Trial is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Welcome to downtown Elgin, where businesses, community, and creativity come together. The Downtown Neighborhood Association provides valuable, complimentary services to all downtown businesses, organizations, property owners, and residents, helping you gain exposure and thrive. Whether you're already part of the district or exploring a new downtown location, DNA is here to help your vision grow. Join us in creating a vibrant, connected, and successful downtown Elgin. Call now 847-488-1456, or you can email info@downtownelgin.com. Ask for Jennifer Facala. Downtown Neighborhood Association, where the heart of business beats strong.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast to Coast right here on WRMN 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Newry with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Whether you're working third shift or you're just a night owl, catch the most listened to overnight talk radio program in North America, Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
When our nation calls, Patriots answer. The U.S. Volunteers Joint Service Command stands ready, honoring our fallen heroes through military funeral honors and serving communities during natural disasters and emergencies. If you're 18 or older, you can serve close to home with free training and just one Saturday a month. Prior service with honorable discharges are welcome. View our website today at usvjsc.org. We are patriots. We are always ready. We are U.S. Volunteers, and we want you to join us.
And welcome back, folks. On the Rise, WRMN 1410. Nick Johnson, Mike Napolitano in the building. Just got done talking all and anything and everything left our Hammond Bears, Chicago Bears.
The Hammond Bears.
Everyone's going to get it all upset. I'm going to keep saying it because I don't care. Not mine.
What is it? Wolf Lake Bears? Is that what is that?
That's
Wolf Lake Bears, yeah.
That sounds that's awesome. A wolf bear?
A wolf bear. There's a bear wolf.
Ooh, bear wolf.
Yeah.
One.
Exactly.
Exactly right. Well, we're trying to. I gotta stay on topic. That's fantastic. We're talking baseball here. Talking baseball right now. Had a little bit of had them throw down yesterday. So White Sox and Cubs go down in Sloan Park in what was that Mesa, Arizona. Yeah. I know my geography. 8-1 final over there, but I guess the big notable takeaways were Mune getting a 2-run double, Braden Montgomery getting an RBI triple, and even Alex Bregman on the flip side, on the Cubs side, he even got 2 at bats. Went 0 for 2, but just still good to see him in some spring training games right off the bat. So, boys, I start with Mike and last go. I'm gonna flip it over to you, Dalton. What was there any big takeaways right away from this game right here, or just anything in general from the so far the very young spring training season?
It's hard to have any takeaways from the first game. The only thing I noticed too is at least from the Cubs starting pitching standpoint, the lack of a fastball throwing was interesting because it used to be 15 years ago you just come out and pump fastballs and not do anything crazy with the arm, and I think it took Jameson Talion 15 pitches to finally throw a fastball. But no, I mean the bats were alive. That's kind of good to see because they scored 8 runs yesterday. I think is what you mentioned. They scored 5, I think, within the first 4 innings, something along those lines. So it was good to see that. You didn't have a lot of starters in the lineup. You had maybe a handful. I don't think Bregman had any hits, which was a little sad to see from a north side standpoint. But again, first game, it's hard to take anything away. Seiya Suzuki battled the sun yesterday. I did see that, which is tough. But
he walks away with a home run yesterday. Didn't really think Austin Hayes was going to be our very first home run of the year, but by golly, we got it. Antonucci also hitting a 2-run homer as well. So
the big takeaway I had yesterday was the UCLA shortstop. He had a grand slam yesterday that I don't think has landed yet, and I can't wait for him to be a White Sox. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, exactly.
Chalowski, yeah. I was gonna say I can't say it right, but yeah.
Let's hope that they don't botch that pick. But he becomes.
Mike, was there anything on your side? Anything that you were watching that you were just maybe trying to pay attention to? Maybe not takeaways necessarily, but was there anything that stood out to you from anybody just that you were trying to watch and pay attention to?
Well, you talked about Munetaka Murakami. The biggest thing from his side of things, other than him just having a decent debut, spring training wise, for the White Sox, was just the fact that he got stuck in traffic supposedly and almost didn't make it to the game. I don't know if you saw anything about that, but buddy, if you're getting stuck in Mesa, Arizona traffic, oh boy, we just talked about the Bears and getting to Soldier Field. Just wait until you got to get to the rate, and then you are, let's say, for lack of a better term, SOL, senor. But no, the other thing that stuck out to me from this White Sox team was Sam Antonacci. Kind of came out of nowhere. Illinois native, but Springfield, so a little bit further south. Had a decent game yesterday. When you look at it, he had 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 2 RBIs, and that was, I think it was a 2-run shot.
It was, yeah.
That's a great way to start. And I'm going to be honest, as a second baseman, there is a hole there. So could we see him starting? It's one game and it's spring training, but could we see him starting with the White Sox Yeah, I would like it. I'd like to at least see him make the opening day roster and be an option going forward. But other than that, status quo for the White Sox. Like you said, they get the job done. The Cubs responded to them in that first inning, but then the White Sox blast off for 3 in the second and 2 in the fourth. So, like Dalton said, scoring early and often, and 12 hits. That's a big afternoon.
You like seeing that right away, and I like again just kind of piggybacking off of you guys already. Murakami getting in now. I like to see, even if it is just getting 4 at bats. You're not going to see a ton of him in spring training. Obviously, he's going to be at the WBC and representing Japan.
Right.
And even the same deal with Kyle Teal. Good to see him getting in there, get a couple at bats, get a hit knocked in. But same deal. He's going to be over in the WBC representing Team Italy for Kyle Teal. So it's just nice to see some of the guys get in there and get some at bats and some quality at bats as well. Yeah, in terms of your Antonucci getting a starting in any sort of way, that's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of things for him to get that position. Considering, Chase Mydroff in there. Even like Lenine Sosa coming off a pretty solid season. We
that's true.
Kind of keeps falling to the wayside of all this young talent. We keep talking about Colson Montgomery and Braden Montgomery, and where's everyone on this infield gonna fall? And we forget that not ginormous numbers, of course, but had a very nice season for Lenine Sosa, finally breaking out and exactly just kind of stepping into the expectations that was once set for him. So it's going to be an uphill battle if Antonucci wants to get any sort of playing time. But at the end of the day, just being in the farm system in any sort of way, I feel like is a good way for any of these young individuals get some at bats. So yeah, you didn't see, of course, you didn't see Ben Nintendi, and you're not going to see Colson Montgomery. But again, good to see guys that we traded for last year, like Curtis Mead, young talent, like we mentioned, like Braden Montgomery, Kyle Teal getting in there, as well as Corey Lee as well.
Have you placed your wager yet for the site? Wow, words are hard. The Sox to win the division?
No, I have not.
No,
I'm not taking that one.
You guys you call yourselves fans.
I'm realistic though.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to pull up.
It's got to be a good number. Oh, that's all I got to say.
I'm just probably, if anything, I'm probably gonna just as a fan,
even the wild card,
as a gambler, and as just a White Sox fan, to be hopeful and to maybe have some fun. I might just take the over on their win total, which I think is probably sitting at like
I would agree
67, 68 maybe.
Yeah.
And I keep joking, like 80 wins might win the division.
Yeah, I was gonna say they play in the worst division in baseball.
Yeah, when the Tigers are one of the top teams in the division and they're going to arbitration with their best pitcher, you play in a bunch of dumpster fires.
Yeah. I mean, they have a very solid rotation. We'll see how they play out, but of course, as we saw at the end of the year, they like to choke a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of a choke artist, but yeah.
I'm predicting this White Sox team to finish 3rd in the division. I think that's a comfortable
over the Twins. And
Royals.
You're going to have this team ahead of the Royals.
Maybe not the Royals. Maybe Guardians. Whoever ends up dropping. There's going to be one of those two teams, either the Tigers or the Guardians. Maybe both that don't have the best of seasons. Although the Tigers did just bring back Verlander. We'll see if that does anything for them at that point. Like. He's a veteran. Maybe he's just a presence in the locker room.
2026. Okay, never mind. I thought it was 2020.
Yeah, no, but
I thought it was 2010.
But I mean, if you're going to arbitration with Tarek Skubal and then you're bringing back Justin Verlander, that's either going to go really well or really bad for you. And my guess is bad for you.
Could you imagine if the Dodgers end up with Tarek Skubal and Paul Skeens?
Oh, yeah. It's happening. It's coming. Once we get to that lockout, it'll happen. But I think the White Sox could go 81-81. Listen, they had a 20-win improvement from 2024 in 2025, and that got them to 60 wins. So, maybe you could get to another plus 20. You talked about that depth in the infield, and I think that would be huge if it could come up to the plate and be in your lineup as well. You talked about Curtis Mead, but also we were talking about the Montgomerys.
Will also be representing WBC. He should probably be Team Australia.
Australia, yes. Yeah, Team Australia. Braden Montgomery looks like they're going to have in the outfield, along with Austin Hayes, which, like you said, we have to take a step back and go, I apologize, Austin Hayes. I was not familiar with your game because he's coming out the gates swinging here, and that could be a good thing. for the outfield, especially with the loss of Luis Robert Jr. You have Acuna coming in.
He'll probably be playing center.
Yeah, so that
the outfield's looking probably like
they're trying to
at right, left field is going to be Benintendi,
right,
and then probably Acuna in center. Which
I'm okay with that.
I'm not opposed to that. Again, with Acuna having not a ton of reps at center field, it's one of those things like maybe just sort of being like Moneyball, like, hey, what do you got to lose?
Yeah, it's a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
like you're just seeing what you can win. Yeah,
and hitting him on the sides like playing center field ain't that hard. And he goes, it's extremely hard.
Tell him how easy it is.
Yeah, tell him how easy it is.
Yeah. But the infield, I mean, once you draft Ross Chalowski, might not come up right away. You should draft Chalowski, but you've already got Miguel Vargas at third. You've got Colson Montgomery. You've got Chase Mydroth, as Nick was saying. Lenin Sosa had a great year. You have an opportunity to bring in Murakama at first base right there, or even have him as a DH. If you'd like to get somebody else in there, we'd have to see maybe one of your catchers, Caro or Teal, end up being your DH or can play first.
Be the case. Yeah, I think
so.
Teal probably end up catching Edgar Quieto, most likely be a DH.
Depth in the infield is looking pretty good. If you could solidify a rotation right now, Jonathan Cannon looked good yesterday. Maybe got a couple other pieces that are starting to develop. But White Sox have always had decent starting pitching, especially left-handed starting pitching, but they always have to flip that. Look at Chris Sale. Look at, not necessarily just naming lefties, but look at Sale, Cease, Crochet. You've even Michael Kopech
Burley?
at times.
Was Burley left-handed?
Yes, Burley. But so like you've had that solid starting pitching, but you haven't just, with the exception of Burley, you haven't been able to put a team around it. Now you have that infield, which you didn't have even in this last rebuild, because every time you had the infield, it was injured. You have the makings of the start of an outfield. It's going to be hard when you're losing a guy like Luis Robert Jr., but once again, very, very injury prone. So if you have an outfield that's healthy, this is starting to look good, but we're still very far away.
And I'm pretty sure he only hit like 230 last year. So.
Yeah, he's fallen from grace from his home run derby days and his MVP vote days, and that was only 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
I mean, the entire team has one bad season, and then you kind of just see the wind come out of his individual sales.
On the flip side, on the Cubs side, I think the most glaring issue may have been coming from Porter Hodge. He went only a third of an inning. He had 4 walks. He gave up 2 runs, but of course, like we mentioned, Jamison Tyone getting tagged with the loss. He gave up 4 in an inning and 2/3. So we were very White Sox focused. I know we're not the biggest Cub fans, but we could still kind of shed some light and see anything there.
You can catch those White Sox games right here on these airwaves.
Exactly right.
Yes,
That's kind of why we lean towards the White Sox side, because you can always catch the White Sox games, the White Sox broadcast right here on WRMN 1410. I know if you can't get into the city, this is kind of like a nice little booster, getting this, spreading out that signal, and it's like they're sitting right next to you in the car broadcasting the game. So take some time, listen. If you're ever on the road traveling around and you're in the car, or even on the WRMN app, and go ahead and broadcast some White Sox baseball all summer long. So make sure you do that. Make sure you download that app.
You can hear the crack of the bat on our airwaves.
Exactly. We were saying another certain radio station. It was the broadcaster sounded perfect, crystal clear, but couldn't get really anything, you couldn't really hear the game. You couldn't really hear the fans cheering. You couldn't hear the ball hit the dirt, go into a glove. So that's kind of what you need when it comes to a broadcast. So we got that. We got that. So White Sox take down the Cubs in the first spring training game of the year, 8-1. There's a couple other games throughout this past week, or throughout the past day, and then of course you got a couple today. Are they running it back today? Am I wrong?
No. So the White Sox are at home at Camelback Ranch at 2:05 today to take on the Athletics. Then they'll be home tomorrow to take on Milwaukee at 2:05 again. Then it'll be two 10 starts in a row on the road against Colorado and Seattle on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, home and away, respectfully, Cincinnati and then Los Angeles, the Dodgers, both 2:05 starts. A 2:05 start next Friday at home against Texas, but that'll be a split squad day, so that'll be your first split squad day. The White Sox will also be on the road to face Milwaukee 5 minutes later at 2:10. Next Saturday, by the time we're off the mics, we'll be tuning into an away game against Cleveland, and then the White Sox will play the Cubs again next Sunday, March 1st. As for the Cubs spring training schedule coming up, today against Texas at 2:05 at home, still in Mesa, and then on the road against San Francisco at 2:05. Monday will be still on the road at 2:05 against Kansas City. 2 home games then, San Diego and Colorado, Tuesday and Wednesday, both at 2:05. Thursday on the road against Los Angeles, the Angels, 2:10. Friday will be just a normal day for the Cubs. No split squads just yet. They'll be at home against Cleveland at 2:05. And then Saturday on the road against the Dodgers at 2:05 before, like I said, they come back home and play Chicago. So the first 2 spring training matchups between Chicago teams will be in Mesa. And then I believe there are 2 more. Actually, no, it looks like there's only 1 more matchup between these 2 in spring training, and that will be at Camelback Ranch where the White Sox play.
Nice. And, of course, obviously, during the regular season, we'll see them 4 times each way, so that'll be awesome and fun. Always confusing, at least when I was first doing it, or first,
Actually, did they move back to 6?
Did they?
This year? I have to double check the schedule.
Double check.
I think they may have moved back to 6, and I'm excited for that.
You mentioned the split squad thing. I'll just kind of quickly comment on that. When I first download the first smartphone, and then you get in and you download the ESPN app, and then of course you favorite your White Sox as my favorite team, and then you get the notifications. I would always be confused when certain days like this, when they're like, oh, one final score would come in, and like 20 minutes later, another like, wait.
You're like, did we win?
They did. What's going on? Am I
tripping?
Yeah. Did I just fart?
Too much Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, the split squad days are always like that. So exactly that. Like, do we ever find out? Is it 4 games? Or
it
6?
It is back to 6. I think it was 6 last year. I think they went back to it. I could be wrong, but yeah, it'll be. So the first matchup between these 2 teams will be at the rate. Friday, May 15th, Saturday, May 16th, and then Sunday, May 17th. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6:40, 6:10, and 1:10 are those start times.
Get your tickets, folks.
So, yeah, I'm excited
right
for some
now.
crosstown.
Right now.
Definitely.
I know we got about like 8 or so odd minutes before we take another little breather. Do we want to talk about some Olympics?
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. This surprised me because I have not, even since the start of the Olympics, looked at the total medal counts. Can you name what country?
Yes, I can.
Italy?
You just
no, but I brought this up on my hockey podcast.
Oh,
yeah. Do you know they're actually the most successful Winter Olympic country of all time.
Really? I did not know that.
No,
Okay.
it's Norway.
Oh, okay.
Norway
is the
with 40.
greatest. Yeah.
Norway has 18 gold medals, 11 silver, and 11 bronze. USA is in second.
The place where it's snowing 18
Literally,
months.
Yeah.
18 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
18 months out of the year. Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to see. I think the full medal tracker gives you the breakdown, and I'll click on that in a second.
And
But
they
I have
have
the stats in front of me.
They have like 80 or 90 more medals overall than any other country, like cumulatively, since the Winter Olympics have been a thing. Yeah, Norway just dominates the Winter Olympics.
I guess I'm going to become Norwegian if I want to become a great Winter Olympian.
We're all tall over there.
Did you want to talk about the curling? By the way, the Canadian cheaters.
Yes.
I feel like that'd be a good Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a good Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
I mean, that was eye opening because I did not know that curling was truly a gentleman's game. There's no officials. There's no referees. It's
like cornhole.
Yeah, a couple guys go out there and measure some stuff. If there's like, hey, I think that was there. Like, no, that was over there. But other than that, no, it's legitimately just your team versus that team. No swearing. Yeah. No swearing.
Mark Kennedy, by the way, is the guy's name for the Team Canada curling incident. That he was. You can't touch the rock. You can't touch the actual rock, and you can't touch it past the line. And he was doing both.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you can only touch the handle.
Yeah.
Just in case you weren't aware.
Do you?
And they have sensors on that too. Apparently.
Yeah.
They have a sensor on the top, so as soon as you let go.
You can't touch it again.
It indicates it, yeah. So you can't touch it again. But then there's no sensor on the granite, on the rock, on the big
on the bottom part. Yeah,
interesting.
So that's why they give it a little extra.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
also, beside that, did you see that they ran out of condoms in like 7 days? They went to 10,000 condoms.
Did see that.
That's awesome.
They've been
safe sex is a good thing, Nick.
Well, it's that. I mean, I've seen people joke around, but I'm like, wouldn't you want other Olympians getting involved with other Olympians? It's kind of how other Olympians are born. I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of
2 plus 2 does equal 4.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Have some fun. Exactly that. You do it safely.
There have been reports about that kind of thing happening at previous Olympics as well, if I remember correctly. But if you do the math, and somebody did the math, half of the Olympians that are there are men, right? So it's only half of them that are using. I mean, yeah, everybody's using it, but like only half of them are actually needing them. They said it came out to about 8 times a day.
Wow.
So I don't know how much time you got in between events, but like 8 times?
Speed skating is the only thing that's quick around there, apparently.
Yeah, honestly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you're telling me
That's
that
insane.
8 hours? Anyways.
You got to keep your cardio in. These are arguably some of the best athletes in the world.
Less than
you got
8
to keep your cardiovascular system running.
Less than 8 hours, I'll tell you that much. What are we doing? Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not Olympians. I don't know.
That's just
Anyways,
another Tuesday in my book.
Yeah, that's another Tuesday. Jeez.
I had a really dumb
Lord.
observation when I was watching the double luge. Me and my buddies were like, "Yeah, this is kind of weird." I'm like, again, jokingly, I go, that's how they started it. Like, they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, they started with a double luge, and then the way they got to single, they're just like, hey, I could probably do this better without a guy on top of me.
Your gun is digging into my hip.
Yeah, dude. Which again, that's been crazy to see. I mean, there's been so many just the way out there storylines with the Olympics. Of course, there was the one guy who cheated on his girlfriend and then just sort of like,
yeah, dude, what are we
begged
doing
for her to come back?
Wait, what?
He just wanted his dog
No, I
back.
did not hear about this.
Yeah, he won a medal. I forget if it was a gold medal or not. And then he got on the press conference afterwards.
I think I did. He was doing like downhill or something.
And he said, this is one of the greatest moments of my life. But the greatest moment of my life was when I met the love of my life a couple months ago. But I made the biggest mistake of my life and cheated on her. And it's like, dude, the
whole world
ex-girlfriend came out and was like, I didn't ask to be thrown under the bus twice. First you cheat on me, then you throw me into this publicly. Like,
oh my God.
Honestly, like, she's got a point there. Like, what are you doing, guy? Like,
that's wild.
I think he just wanted his dog back.
Oh,
maybe.
Save the beagle, bro.
Is that what that was all over?
Was it a beagle?
I think that's what they were saying. Yeah, I had a beagle. I love beagles, but like, dude, find a better way to do it. Oh, man.
Tell us about Alyssa. I know you're pulling it up.
I know. Yeah, this was one of the best stories for me. So Alyssa Liu, raised by her father, who is a single father of about, I think, 5 kids, all surrogate, all donors. So, I mean, he's been a honestly gold medal for single dad of the year, right? But her father was also in China in that Tiananmen Square riot, and he had to escape. He had to flee to the United States. Well, Alyssa Liu, she's of Asian descent. And so China came back at her and said, hey, do you want to compete in the Olympics for us? And
she retired, I think.
And her and her dad, well, yeah. So she also retired in 2016, hung the skates up, never wanted to do it again, comes back into skating, and China says, hey, compete for us. And the dad and her are both like, absolutely not, because... my dad had a horrible experience, so we're going to go up against you. And wouldn't you know, she wins a gold medal over China. And yeah, I mean, what a comeback story. That's awesome. Like, that's incredible. And she's just super talented in general. Of course, she won a gold medal, but I mean, just when you watch her out there, unbelievable. So yeah, to quit, come back and take it to the country, win out over China, who gave your dad a really tough life in his early years. Yeah, that is... What a story. That's got to be a movie, right?
It's got to be. We also forgot to mention this in baseball talk. Tony Clark had a nice week for himself. I don't know if you know who that is. Do you remember hearing this earlier?
Yes, the representative for the Players Association.
We learned this week. We had we as a country had the huge proposing question of, is it better to cheat on your brother's wife or your sister's sister? Because that's what Tony Clark was doing. Is he was having Tony Clark was having an affair with his sister-in-law, but did we ever clear up whether it was his brother's wife or his wife's sister? Okay, because that was the whole thing. Like, that's why he had to resign from the MLB Players Association. By the way, they have negotiations to avoid a lockout in like 10 months.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay.
This is probably one of the most important conversations the MLB will ever have ever.
It was insane.
Should have led with that. Otherwise, I was like, wait, his brother's wife or his sister's sister?
His wife's sister. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was
because
like,
it's
wait.
his sister-in-law.
Hold on. Okay.
So,
all right.
Because I was leaning toward if you're going to do it right, like technically the better one would be your wife's sister, because at least you're not destroying your family, you're destroying their family. Because if you do,
isn't that kind of your family though? At that point,
it is. I'm not saying either way. There's no right path here.
Right.
So
wow.
Yeah. So that was the conundrum that we got established this year. Shout out to Jeff Passan, by the way, great MLB reporter. But yeah, he was the one that brought that to light. So.
Oh boy.
Well, good luck to anybody and anybody that's trying to have some fun or enjoy the MLB season come 2027. Not looking very likely, but what is very likely is an appearance and an interview by our guy Scott Darling coming up right here on WRMN 1410. Do not miss it.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch, because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has 2 convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin and 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400. Now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's Touchless Car Wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410. Elgin time, 11 o'clock.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. It's too early to know whether President Trump will resort to military force over Iran's nuclear program, but Senator Tom Cotton says the president's stance has not changed.
We cannot tolerate a nuclear Iran. For that matter, we can't tolerate a nuclear Iran that is armed with thousands of ballistic missiles that can target not just our troops in the region, but also our friends in the region and much of the civilized world. And finally, we can't tolerate a fanatical, revolutionary, theocratic regime that supports terrorists like Hamas and Hezbollah and others that have the blood of thousands of Americans on their hands.
Senator Cotton spoke this week with the Salem Radio Network. In the wake of yesterday's Supreme Court ruling striking down President Trump's tariffs, economist Steve Moore believes the president will prove to be resourceful.
He sounded pretty confident that he will find a way to make these tariffs legal so that he can go forth.
The president says he is imposing a temporary global tariff of 10%. After yesterday's ruling, the new tariffs would come under a law that does restrict them to just 150 days. GOP strategist Aaron McGuire advises caution as the files related to Jeffrey Epstein are released.
Just because a name is in the Epstein files does not equate to guilt. And there are a lot of people who are jumping all the way to the assumption that if your name is in the Epstein files, you yourself have done something wrong.
President Trump's approval rating hits 50% in one new poll. Here's correspondent Bill Alexander.
An Insider Advantage national survey of 800 likely voters conducted February 17th through 18th, utilizing mixed mode text panel, shows Donald Trump's approval rating basically mirroring or slightly above the national popular vote results in the election of November 2024.
That is Bill Alexander reporting. More from townhall.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To to buy $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085. 800-555-2085.
New safety standards for those wishing to qualify for a commercial driver's license.
All truckers and bus drivers will have to take their commercial driver's license tests in English as the Trump administration expands its aggressive campaign to improve safety in the industry and get unqualified drivers off the road. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced the latest effort Friday to ensure that drivers understand English well enough to read road signs and communicate with law enforcement officers. Keith Peters, Washington.
The U.S.-Canada showdown in Olympic gold for the men's hockey is on. Jack Hughes scored 2 goals, including one with a highlight reel individual effort, and the Americans rolled into the final by routing Slovakia last night 6-2 in the semifinals. They'll meet tomorrow with the favorite and top-seeded Canada for the ultimate title. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The maker of some chicken fried rice recalling it up in the Pacific Northwest because some of it may have shards of glass.
No injuries have been reported. The fried rice is produced by Ajinomoto Foods North America in Portland, Oregon. It's sold in 20-ounce plastic bags. The effective packages have best sell dates of September 8th through November 17th, 2026. And the establishment number inside the USDA mark of inspection is P18356. Customers are being asked to throw out the product or return it to where it was purchased. I'm Donna Warder.
And social media addiction has been compared to casinos, opioids, and cigarettes. There is some debate among experts now about the line between overuse and addiction and whether social media can cause the latter. And there have been a number of court hearings recently deciding exactly how much the major platforms may be to blame for some young people's addiction to their platforms.
Talk time with Tammy and friends.
Hi there, Tammy Scully here from Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. Join me and my sidekicks, Nancy and Becky, for valuable lifestyle tips and unique views and insights on interesting topics and everyday situations, providing nonstop fun and chuckles for all. Get the scoop on consumer news, deep dive on current events, and learn about the newest economic trends, from exercise and gardening to music, travel, recipes, sports, pets, real estate, media, and everything in between. And it's all sprinkled with a healthy helping of bad dad jokes and interesting fun facts to boot. Tune in Mondays through Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for a little fun, frolic, and infotainment. Join us, won't you?
On WRMN. Oh, talk time.
Welcome back to AM 1410 WRMN. You're tuned into On the Rise with Dalton Cooper, Nick Johnston on the board, and myself, Mike Napolitano. We have another exclusive interview for you here. You may recognize this man from his incredible beard game or the fact that he is a local Chicagoan. He grew up in Lamont and won a Stanley Cup with your Chicago Blackhawks in 2015, coming in clutch and making one of the greatest highlight reel saves a goalie has ever made. He recently has gone from butterfly goaltender to stand-up comedian, and today marks the debut of the hit Canadian hockey TV show Shoresy's 5th season here in the United States. And spoiler alert, he plays EU goaltender Carl Cederstrom. Please welcome to the show, Scott Darling.
Wow, what an intro. That was something. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. As I mentioned, Shoresy Season 5 live in the United States here today, and you made your debut in the TV show playing a funny character. I don't want to give too much away or give too many spoilers for those who haven't caught up and seen it yet, but what was it like to get the acting career started? I saw you at the Shoresy Classic after party. Is that where things kind of went down with Jared Kiso to kind of get you in?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it all happened. He asked me if I'd ever want to be in Shoresy, and I told him, I said, I wasn't going to ask, but now that he mentioned it, I'll absolutely. He's like, good, I got you. And he kind of wrote me in, and it was super fun to do. It was really cool.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. I didn't pirate it or stream it or anything, but we have one of those VC boxes that people are switching over to. And I just happened to look and see if it got the Canadian version. And sure enough, I got to watch it early. It's a phenomenal season thus far. You had some funny lines, and I don't want to give too much away, but the character itself is very, I don't want to say European because that sounds bad, but like you don't have a whole lot of speaking lines, so it makes for funny TV. But also, what was it like to just kind of like try to keep a straight face and play that character?
Well, that's the cool thing. I'm not an actor, right? So he kind of like made it easy on me, where I don't understand English. My character doesn't, so it's just a lot of blank stares and responding, yeah, thank you, or whatever. And yeah, the blank stares is hard to do around those guys because they're so funny.
Did you give them the goalie eyes? Did you have the big, wide goalie eyes that we see around the league? I feel like that'd be a good little take.
I probably did in the net. I still haven't seen it. It just came out today. I just watched the first episode. So I'm excited to see what they put in and what they do, because there's some cool hockey scenes in there. And then a couple of funny off-ice ones.
Yeah, you did get the pads back on. I know actually at one of your stand-up sessions after in Rosemont, you were showing me that you had actually flown out to play in a men's league with a buddy, and I believe tore, was it your whole hamstring, which was a gnarly picture. But how was it suiting up for Shoresy? I'm sure it's a little less stressful, but still you got to be out there and stop some pucks.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time in years I played goalies, tried to do it seriously, because you want to look good when on TV. But I was a little rusty. Luckily, they gave us some practice, kind of warm up. But it was fun, and you turn it back on. That injury that I had a couple years ago was crazy. I did show you the picture. I was doing a charity shootout thing in Darien, and at Seven Bridges, and I paid the price for that.
Oh, tore a hamstring in a charity event. That's why we love you, though. You never take a day off. You never say no.
The back of your leg was like black and blue from bottom of the butt cheek to basically the ankle. I was like, oh man, this is painful.
Yeah, I think he scored too, so it wasn't even worth it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Growing up, my dad always said if I got hurt, did you make the save?
Yeah.
And so that time I did not.
Oh man. That's funny. From a goalie's perspective, I've always been curious of this, and hopefully you can give us a little insight on this. So we've been watching a little bit of Olympic hockey, and we have Torque Thompson on Team USA now. It's no longer Tage Thompson, but it just got me thinking from a goalie's perspective, when you're trying to anticipate a shot from a guy like a Tage Thompson or maybe a Phil Kessel back in your day, is it harder or easier to kind of judge where a guy is going to shoot based on the flex of their stick? Maybe like a high 70s like Kessel, or maybe like a lower stick like Chara, whereas in the 40s.
I wouldn't really know about the flex of the stick. I would have never known what kind of stick the guys used. But with him, with Tage, I actually got to play with him for Team USA when he was just coming out of UConn, and so I got to see him then, and look at him now. He's unbelievable. But a guy like him, his stick as long as his, it's hard for him to pull it, to my blocker side. So you would assume he's going to kind of push it back towards the glove side. There's little stuff like that as a goalie. But I mean, with a shot like his, it's take up space and hope it hits you.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about Tage Thompson here for Team USA, but honestly, both Team USAs have been incredible. I don't know if I'm sure you've gotten to see a lot from the women, but Erin Frankel and that U.S. women's team, 300.
She doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
Like the show she put on, she had 3 shutouts, and I was sitting there sweating, thinking this poor girl's going to let one goal and not win a gold medal. And she played unbelievable, some big time saves. I'd say both goalies did. Canada's did too. But kudos to her. I mean, the whole tournament, she was a brick wall.
No doubt. And they set a record too, 352 minutes and 17 seconds of a shutout, longest in international, not just Olympic, but international play. 33-2 is how bad the U.S. women outscored their opponents during this tournament. So, I mean, of course, Erin Frankel, Gwyneth Phillips, and Ava McNaughton, your 3 goaltenders, want to show them all some love. But I know you were probably watching that gold for the women's team. As a goaltender, kind of what goes through your mind other than just the fact that, like, you can't let up that second goal and you just kind of keep your team in it, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to have a short memory as a goalie. It didn't happen. You're back in the game. You can worry about it afterwards. But, I mean, they always say, like, always, well, Team USA is such a great team, and they are. The women's team's unbelievable. But no shutout's easy. In any league, any game, you're always going to have to make challenging saves, even if you only have 15 shots. So the performance she put on and that in the gold medal game, knocked it down after going down 1-0 for the first time in a long time, just shows her like mental strength, and that's why she's the best women's goalie there is.
No, 100%. Can we talk about how ridiculous it is that the coaches don't get medals? Can you tell me how ridiculous that is?
That's crazy.
Wroblewski was crying on the bench too. I mean, he put heart and soul into that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's things they don't get their medal, their trinket, but they get the coach is just as much a part of the team as the players, So I'd say emotionally, mentally, like the guy won a gold medal too. But yeah, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I could understand from like the snowboarding team. Maybe I can understand why the coach didn't get a medal. But like you said, the hockey, they're invested in the team. They go through everything the team does. I mean, so the fact that
the coach is a part of the team, that's simple.
It's just insane.
Right. Well, switching over to the men's side of things, of course, we have the biggest rematch in I don't know how long. It's been building for a year since the Four Nations face-off, but the USA, I think it was pretty much set in stone. Even back when I got a chance to interview Frank Nazar, and I was asking him, the USA-Canada matchup, and he was kind of playing coy and saying, "Oh well, if it happens." I think everybody knew that this was on a collision course, but the USA is going up against Canada in the gold medal match tomorrow morning at 7:10 a.m. Central Time. For Hellebuck, from the goaltender's perspective, how do you mentally prepare for this one, especially knowing that this is a Canada team that's beaten you in a tournament similar just about a year ago?
Well, I mean, he's as good as it gets, right? So, and his game really, it bodes well against Team Canada because his strength is reading plays, and he's always in the right position, and he's a big guy, right? So he's always there. It's hard to beat. Sometimes it looks like he's not moving a lot. It looks simple, but it's really because he's so good at reading plays. And Canada really likes that east-west stuff. So, I mean, as a goalie, it's just another game. It's not. But you got to trick yourself into thinking that it's just another game. I mean, he's the best American goalie there is, and he's going to show up and show out.
Yeah. On the 46th anniversary of Miracle, by the way, this game is taking place. So if there is ever like a higher power to maybe smile down on the USA, maybe it is tomorrow. But I'd really like to talk about the defensive standpoint, because I think the defensive core of the United States is by far and away the best D-core you can find on the planet. So just from a goalie's perspective, can you talk about what Team USA defensemen do so well that obviously makes Hellebuck's job maybe, I don't want to say a little bit easier, but also maybe takes a little bit of the stress off of him to where he can elevate and play at a high level like he does?
Well, they're great at boxing out, letting him see shots because they know if he sees it, he's going to stop it. So they're good at that. But they're great on entries, which is one of Canada's best assets, I'd say, is their zone entry going east-west. You see David and McKinnon do it all the time, cutting across the middle. The D on USA are great at staying up, staying tight, not giving those shots from the center of the ice on entries, which are really hard to save for goalies. So, and I mean, the top to bottom, whoever's on the ice for USA, they're great getting first pass defensemen, getting pucks out, boxing out, and you got your guys that can contribute offensively too. Obviously, you've seen what Quinn Hughes has done this tournament, and I'm excited for the game. Everyone's nervous. Canada's nervous. USA's nervous, but it's going to be an awesome game.
And we were talking a little bit about last week with Charlie Romeliotis. There's somebody that brought up how USA tries to shut down Canada's speed, especially when you got guys like Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid, and they do that with kind of a triangle offense in the neutral zone. And we'll see if that is enacted tomorrow. But when those guys like Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon, you were talking about those guys barreling into the zone, playing that speed game, but also that east-west game, we know that this Olympic arena got built kind of last minute, so you don't exactly have those European angles. As a goaltender, though, do you kind of keep your angles and your sight lines the same as you would in an NHL game or maybe that Four Nations game? And how do you kind of combat that high-powered Canadian offense?
Yeah, I mean, their angles aren't going to change that much. Like you said, it's not the same as it usually is, and it's you'll see it. These guys, McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini, like when they cut across the blue line, if they're not dumping it in, they're trying to either button hook back up, or if they have enough speed, they're going to try and cut right to the middle of the ice after they get over the blue. And those are very dangerous plays. And so defense has to do a good job keeping to the outside, making the guys try and turn up ice. And if they do start cutting across, just keep that tight gap so the guy can't get a grade A opportunity between the hash marks or something.
No, I was gonna say team speed is just insane. From
they might get Crosby back too. There was reports.
Yeah, there's a soft benching I think going on with Crosby. No, never mind. With the biggest quote unquote blunder of the tournament was probably made by Jeremy Swayman when he let a puck in at half ice. Can you tell me if you've ever been in a barn where you were like, wow, these boards should be changed colors, or like I just couldn't see the puck, or just
it wasn't the boards really. I mean, the puck redirected. You saw him move his glove to the left. It hit off the player's calf and went to the right, to his blocker side. So it got tipped, and then he lost it in that dark, either equipment or the boards. I'm not going to say anything because I've done it. I've lost goals in the lights in Madison Square Garden. It's it happens. It's bad timing. Swayman's an unbelievable goalie. That'll be a blip in history for him, but. Yeah, it happened. It could be the lights, it could be the rafters. Now it could be the boards.
It's a good thing he's got that short memory, like those good goaltenders you talk about. Yeah,
you got to do.
Well, switching from Olympics and talking about good goaltending, especially when you were there with the Blackhawks, of course, that tandem between yourself and Corey Crawford, you win the 2015 Stanley Cup. Now there's a whole new era of Blackhawks goaltending, and it almost looks like they have a wealth of solid, strong goaltending, whether that's Spencer Knight, even Arvid Soderblom as a backup, but even Comesso coming up through the system. What have you liked in this franchise, looking at almost all levels, and what could fans be expecting in the future from Blackhawks goaltending?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is they got Knight. That was a huge acquisition and signing, and He's the guy you want. I've always loved this game. He's super smooth, efficient, always in position. I really like the way he plays. He's a starting goal in the NHL, and Soderblom's been good, backing him up, and Comesso came up and did a good job in those first starts for him. So congrats to him. He's back in Rockford, honing his craft. So yeah, the future's bright. I'm sure there's more kids coming, some draft picks. The Hawks have always drafted well, so. Doing a good job on that there.
No, absolutely. And I had a chance to be at Rockford for Michael Layton's retirement ceremony, where you had your beautiful tribute there on the screen and that beautiful beard we mentioned earlier. Just a couple things about that. Can you tell me what Michael has done so well from a coaching standpoint that has really helped shift the goaltender situation in Detroit, like from his, obviously, being around him as much as you have? And then when can we expect you to maybe dip your toe into the goaltending coach realm of possibilities?
Yeah. We'll see. I will eventually. But Lates is great, and he knows goaltending. He played pro for a long time here, abroad. He was great to me as my first year being really solidified in the AHL, getting to play with him and mentoring me. In that year, I ended up on the Hawks winning the cup. But I still played 27 games in Rockford and with him and watching him play and learning from him in practice. Like he knows what he's talking about. He was a great goalie.
I did forget to ask. I got a chance to talk to some of your former teammates last week, Chris Versteeg and Patrick Sharp. I forgot to ask them about Michael Layton, but I did ask them their predictions. They both said Canada both ways for gold medal. They were wrong about one, thank goodness. But let's see what happens tomorrow. I'm gonna
a little biased.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I figured you'd have a different answer for sure. But
I mean, everyone's pulling for their country. I like the commercials where it's like different teams, fans being mad at each other, but everyone can unite over the country. So USA all the way. I'm excited for the game tomorrow. Are you gonna come down and watch it at the barn?
What's that?
Are we going to the
They're
barn?
having a viewing party at the barn.
Are they at the barn?
Yeah, they're going to open up.
Oh my God.
Maybe I have to. I didn't even realize. I had a buddy that was going to stay local, and we were going to go here. But I think if I tell him that the barn's going to have it on, then we'll go over there. Do you have partial stake in the barn? Don't you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to head on over there and check it out. Yeah, because this is going to be one of the biggest hockey events of the year, no doubt, maybe of the century.
Well, we have to counter.
It's going to be epic. It's going to be, oh man.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so stressed out.
Oh yeah.
Watching that game.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to sit down. I think I'm going to be anxious. I might be sore by the end of it, and I won't even be playing in the game. I'll be just kind of running around. Oh my goodness.
Well, I always said, even when back when I was playing, it's harder to watch it than be in it. When we were in the playoffs and stuff, it's harder to watch from the bench than be in it stress-wise.
When you got to don that USA sweater in the World Championships in 2018, what's it like being able to represent your country at that level?
Well, it's a dream come true for me. I've always, obviously I wanted to play. My goals were to play college hockey and then play pro, and I wanted to play for Team USA. And during my time playing pro, guys weren't allowed to go to the Olympics, so the highest I could do, make the World Championships team, and I did. We won a bronze, and it was a super cool experience. Great group of guys, and just it was really cool to go over to Denmark for a month and play in it's the only international play I've ever done, so it was awesome.
Going back to Shoresy real quick, the only other style of hockey, and I don't want to give too much away. There's a style of hockey that gets played in the finale, and anybody that knows me knows that I love this style of hockey, just to give a little hint to those at home. But what was that experience like, getting to film that without giving too much away for the fans?
Well, it was cool. It's cool. I'm a fan of TV and movies, so it was cool to see how it all works. I think since it's out, we can talk now, but there's there's an indoor game and then there's an outdoor game, and filming the outdoor game was really cool. It took a couple days. There's different weather, like climate issues. Like one day the ice was melting.
Oh no.
So you film your hits and your fights because you can't skate around. And, then one day it's sunny and you film all the goals and the high speed stuff. And then one day it was dark. And so I like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't wait to see how they mix it all together. But I mean, it was very cool seeing how they do it, and the whole experience. Something I thought was really cool was about Jared Kiso. He's had the same crew working on the shows all the way from Letterkenny through Shoresy, you know, the people who do all the real work behind the scenes. And I've never seen so many people go out of their way to tell me what a great guy someone is. Like, what a terrific, like, everyone loves working there. He's so great to everybody. Like, it just kept happening. And the more people I met, they just talk so highly about this guy. And they're talking about Jared. And I know he comes across as Shoresy, but he's just an unbelievable person. And it was just a, you know, once in a lifetime experience to get to go up there for 2 months and be a part of it.
Some of us still know him as Wayne as well. Don't worry, the toughest guy in Letterkenny. But
oh, yeah.
If he ever needs a Philip Forsberg stand-in, I grew out the mustache, so I'm
perfect. I'll let him out.
Yeah. Nick, did you have one for Scott?
Yeah. It's cool to hear that you're doing some sort of like a stand-up show and just some sort of event like that. I just had to ask, do you have an inspiration behind your stand-up? Are you like a big George Carlin fan, or is it just kind of like all your former like teammates kind of mixed together, like that kind of inspired you to do it?
No, I mean, I've always loved stand-up. I don't have like a guy. I mean, I love the big guys like Bargatze, DeStefano, Segura, you know, those guys. And I kind of just fell into it, and it was a lot of fun. It was something to, after hockey, I tell people, it kind of reminded me the rush of playing goalie. Like the rush before a game, like kind of like the rush before doing a set, you know. And it is kind of like goaltending where you're on your own. It's you know, you make the saves, you win. If you tell the jokes right, you win. If you tell the jokes right, you lose. You let pucks in, you lose. You know, it's kind of mentally the same thing. And it was, you know, once you retire from hockey, you need something to do, and it's been fun.
That's awesome. I know you've been doing so much post-career here, whether it's been a couple of events on the ice with like Swaggy P and the On the Bench boys, but then of course I've gotten to see you during the stand-up comedy, even some broadcasting in there. Like I said, we were talking to Charlie and he was reminiscent about the times being at Chicago Sports Network with you, but going into where people can find you and find these stand-up events, how can people get on board if they're not headed to the Barn Hockey Bar tomorrow to see the game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of not doing stand-up as much anymore because I've gotten into coaching. So if I'm going to be doing some shows, it'll be on my Instagram, but that's probably about it. But yeah, I've gotten into coaching kids and doing privates, and that's been taking up more of my time.
Awesome. Well, Scott, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
We'll hope to see you maybe tomorrow at the Barn for this big game, USA versus Canada, 7 a.m. But in the meantime, for those of you, go check out Shoresy Season 5. It's on Hulu. You will see our very own Scott Darling, Stanley Cup champion, in net for the EU team. It's such a good season and such a good show. So, Scott, once again, thank you for jumping on with us, and good to see you. Congratulations on the engagement and the marriage as well. I know last time we were trying to get you on.
Thank you.
That was it. So we will talk to you soon. Thank you. WRMN.
Here on WRMN AM 1410, we like to keep you informed and in tune to what's happening here in the Fox River Valley and what's going on here on WRMN. We recognize the importance of local radio to be a part of the conversation and to be a part of the community for the community.
You know, we talked about the importance of community theater, but supporting community radio is a big deal too. And, you know, for WRMN, this is a really cool thing that you guys do every day, and a really important thing. You have to have a local media outlet to talk about what's going on in your town. So you guys do a nice job.
Tune in to AM 1410, WRMN. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WRMN Radio. Keep in tune and informed on what's happening here in the Fox River Valley, right here on WRMN.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 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 Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-234-0316. 800-234-0316. That's 800-234-0316.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
When tragedy strikes, you need more than a lawyer, you need a voice. Romanucci and Blandon fight for justice in cases of personal injury, wrongful death, civil rights, and medical malpractice. With over $1 billion recovered, their results speak loud. Call 312-458-1000 or visit rblaw.net. That's 312-458-1000. Romanucci and Blandon, national impact, personalized care. No fee unless they win. Proud supporter of America's First Responders Fest.
And welcome back, folks. WRMN 1410 on the rise. You just checked in. You just missed us talking with Scott Darling. Good interview right now. If I don't say so ourselves. I mean,
a model American.
Yeah. Check him out. New season of Shorzy over on the Hulu side of things. That's where you can go catch him, as well as maybe one of the stand-up events that he was talking about. But it sounds like he was on the coaching side of things. That sounds pretty exciting.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Because like I said, Michael Layton has completely, like I even joked with Michael when I saw him for that retirement. It was like, hey, has the Iceman taken you to dinner yet for maybe saving his job? And he kind of just, he waved me off because I was kind of being facetious. But I mean, in all honesty, he might have actually saved Steve Yzerman from getting fired. But
the Yzer plan is alive and well because of him.
Right now it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. There you had it. We had some Bulls talk. We had some Bulls news. Is that what we want to get into?
Yeah, I know. So I don't know if I gave the medal count for Team USA. They're like I said, behind Norway at 31. They have 11 gold medals. One of those is the USA women's gold medal in hockey over Canada. Just wanted to throw that one in there one more time. Sorry, Jared Kiso, Patrick Sharp, and Chris Versteeg, but
you were wrong.
Yeah, not correct on that one. Silver medals, USA has 12, and then 8 bronze medals. So looking to get the last couple medals here today and tomorrow. Actually, that matchup between the United States and Canada will be the final U.S. Event, is what I was hearing. It might even be the final Olympic event before the medal or the closing ceremonies of the Olympics tomorrow afternoon, evening. Well, I guess, yeah, based on the time difference, that will be the actual last event at the Olympics. So what a way to conclude the Olympics with hockey between the U.S. and Canada. That's incredible. But if you saw some of the snowboarding, it's been making me... I've been itching to get back out on the slopes. Shout out my buddy Mike Cross. I know we've been trying to go, my man. We got to get back out there. Skiing has been phenomenal as well, but as Nick said, we'll jump on over into some more Chicago sports. We talked about, who we should have asked, we'll have to ask Scott tomorrow at the Barn Hockey Bar. his take on the Bears. Big Chicagoan. He's at every event.
It sounds like you guys are going to the barn now.
I guess we're going to the barn.
We got invited. How can you not say?
I guess we're going to the barn. Listen, I'll say this. If anybody knows me, everybody's always talking about this guy's everywhere. And I don't want to toot my own horn, pat my own
mayor.
back. This guy's at every event, right? No, look at Scott Darling. That man is at every event. He is Chicago through and through. You see him at almost every Bears game. Like I said, I saw him after the Shoresy event. That man is definitely repping Chicago wherever he goes. But the Bulls, they are not repping Chicago right now. But that's actually kind of a good thing because we were talking about it. I went on my rant last week. We want them to tank. And that's been happening. Lost to Toronto Thursday night, 110-101. A loss in Boston to the Celtics, 124-105. That was back Wednesday, the day before that Toronto game. And then they were still on the road Monday. That was that first game of the road trip, 123-115. They fall to Brooklyn. So, and Saturday, we had gotten off the mics before they were at home against Denver, 136-120. So don't worry. The Bulls' losing streak is alive, and, well, it has now hit 7 games, and they're going into a tough couple of games stretch here. It'll be the bad boy Pistons are back. The 7 o'clock game tonight at home. They stay at the United Center for quite a bit. There's no hockey going on right now because of the Olympics, so the Blackhawks are still a little bit on that break. Get some time for the court at the United Center to breathe without any ice incidents as we had earlier in the season. But Detroit will be in town tonight. New York Knicks will be in town tomorrow. Tuesday, Charlotte will come to town. And then Thursday, it'll be Portland. All 7 p.m. tip-offs. Sunday, after we're off the mics, then the homestand continues against Milwaukee. The Bucks come to town at 2:30. And boy, oh boy, this homestand continues even with our very own Grant's Oklahoma City Thunder concluding that home stretch for the Bulls next Tuesday, 7 p.m. tip-off. So a good number of home games in here. Nick, you've gotten to see the Windy City Bulls at that level.
Yeah.
Do you think that this pro squad for the Chicago Bulls, do you think that they snap the losing streak with this long stretch at home, or do they continue to straight out tank?
Yeah, it's... I believe from what everyone's kind of gathering, and a lot of experts and NBA analysts are kind of saying that I believe the Bulls are projected maybe 9 wins for the remainder of their season. Which we had a fun game of doing exactly that, guessing the 9 games of which they would be winning. And in all honesty, I only see about 6 that are winnable just by matchup, and then have to be one of those things where, like, oh man, how did the Bulls take down the Knicks? How did the Bulls take down the Spurs that one game? They must have been really, really down that day. So it's really tough to see that side. I see, tanking's been pretty egregious as of late, not just for the Bulls, but just for the entire league. I feel like every single time I'm getting a push notification from Shams or on Twitter, I see, oh, so-and-so just got finger surgery out for the year. So-and-so just had eye surgery out for the year. So-and-so, yeah, exactly that. Just whatever soft tissue insert, this person is out for the year now. So it's getting egregious across the league, not just in the Bulls area, but that's the thing where it's a mixture of too many guards, a lot of talent, but it hasn't been working. Obviously haven't been working together. You basically sent out an entire team and brought back an entirely new team with little to no practice time. So I can't really dog on the team or dog on Billy Donovan as a whole or anybody else, but because you can see in spurts where Colin Sexton is having a nice little having some time. I feel like Anthony Simons is kind of just a walking bucket. Like you can see from time to time where he really gets the job done scoring. But again, we said at the beginning of the year, and now it's definitely a glaring issue. Now there is little to no direction of like what an identity is with this Bulls team. So if I can flip it and become positive, while the Windy City Bulls aren't necessarily transitioning or translating all this play into wins, they're scoring a lot down in our arena. So it is fun going over there. And it's been awesome to hear the reception from the Big Pop and Yuki Kawamura coming out for opening lineups. And again, people have described him as almost like a mascot of the team, which again, it's kind of it's very. I would kind of find that very insulting if I'm Yuki, but I can see from both ends where he's brought in to basically sell tickets and be a little hot commodity. But he's a really good basketball player.
Yeah.
He's a very good player. 5'7", and he's flying around making these giants look pretty small.
Yeah.
And again, it's not necessarily transitioning or translating into wins, but he's coming at the end of the games, he's finishing with 20 some odd points, at least 10 assists, and he's put up some good rebound numbers as well.
They score 135 points and lose.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's
really hard to do.
He scored 42 in the first quarter.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's tough to do.
And again, it's an issue with the Windy City Bulls, but I feel like it also is just an issue with the G League where I feel like a 20-point lead is almost like a 3-possession game still.
Yeah, like they're just waiting for it to fall apart. Yeah.
I mean, last night, the Raptors 905, the G League affiliate to the Toronto Raptors who played the Bulls last night, it was a 7-point play last night because it was guy shot a 3, made it, got fouled, made the and one, and then there was a technical foul, so they got another free throw, and then they got possession for it, and then they scored 2 more points on top of that.
Oh my God!
So they had a 7-point possession,
That's
completely
insane.
swing that game, and had to go back into it. So it is very tough right now when Yuki, again 5'7", can get a bucket, is seen as the leader right now. Mac McClung not taking a back seat, but I feel like there's a little bit off of his plate now. It's been the Mac and Yuki show over at Hoffman Estates. So hopefully we can get some wins out of it.
Yeah.
I understand that's not necessarily the Windy City Bulls' goal every single time. Of course, a win is perfect, and that's exactly what you want. But I feel like it's development is always the number one priority.
Yeah.
Just with basically any sort of G League affiliate. So it's been fun. Some really good giveaways. We had another one. We had Greek Heritage Night last night.
Nice.
I believe tonight is another card and sports memorabilia show.
Did you get a Euro last night?
I did actually.
Okay,
they were
nice.
serving Euro. They were serving euros.
A gyro? Yeah.
Yeah, some nice euros. Nice euros from. It was very very.
Do you get it with everything on it? You like the tomato and the onions?
I don't do the onion
sauce.
Yeah. I do the sauce. I'll put like one tomato on there, but I'm not an onion guy. I just can't.
Oh, really? That's tough.
Okay.
That's tough.
I'm an onion person when it comes to gyros. Actually, onion dog at the Sox game, dude. Oh yeah, grilled. But that's grilled. That's
Is that different?
it's raw on the gyro. But man, I could go for a gyro right
Angel
now.
Reese made her debut last night too, by the way. And Unrivaled.
Yeah, I did see her pulling that up too. Yeah, so
the Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 league, which is actually kind of a big deal because I don't know if you saw, but Brianna Stewart signed with a European team, and their training camp opens like a week before the WNBA is supposed to start. So everybody's kind of like pointing fingers at like, oh, maybe there's not going to be a WNBA season this year. So we'll see how that unfolds.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to our guy Tristan and see. But
Brian.
Or Brian T. Yeah, we'll bring him back on. It was a joy to talk to him the one time. We probably should have got him on for Bears season. I wasn't thinking about it, but that man, talk about another guy that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Brian T. Very talented. He covers pretty much everything in the Chicagoland area. Yuki Kawamura, you were talking about him, 23 points last night. Mac McClung led the team with 34. It's been a short week for the Windy City Bulls, just that one game, but they are back in action, as Nick was saying, tonight against Raptors 905, against 7 p.m. tip-off from the Now Arena. And then Tuesday and Friday, they have games. Tuesday is at home at 7 against the Wisconsin Herd. Friday is on the road to finish out February against the Maine Celtics out in Portland. It's a 6 p.m. tip-off. So,
and again, sorry to interrupt, but with that being, again, the Sports Cards Memorabilia Show, usually the game only opens up an hour beforehand, but of course, with this being the Sports Card Show,
right,
it opens up an extra hour, so 5 p.m. doors open for this one. 7 p.m. tip, but 5 p.m. the doors are open.
That should be fun. I know those were big sellout nights last year.
Always are. They're really cool. And again,
are they back? They're back to back this year, right? Is there another one?
So they did 2 of them earlier, which one was
right.
Basically, like one of them was like just like Pokemon stuff, game trading night, game card trading night, and then the next day was basically everything, sports and Pokemon.
Gotcha. Because I know it was a better idea to do that than to tear it down and do it again later on in the season. But with how high demand card trading is, like having these nights is huge for the Windy City Bulls and huge for the fans as well. So get on out there. I went to the very last game of the season last year, and that was also the backed by popular demand card show night. So a lot of fun. I'm interested to see going forward with the Bulls being as bad as they are. Windy City Bulls maybe on the come up and some development going on there. And then PWHL is coming here in March. And I know we keep talking about it and it's going to be a slow process, but I still think the Now Arena in Hoffman Estates would be the best location for the PWHL to bring a professional women's team. So if that could all go on in my backyard, I am there for it. And that'd be a perfect location for fans. Easy to get to right off the highway, right off 90 right there, for any hockey or basketball fans or just concerts, graduations, all that stuff in general. That's where I graduated high school. So I know they already have a bunch of other events going on there. So utilize that building a lot more. We'll have to see. We'll hopefully get a chance to cover some hockey pretty soon. We were just up at the AHL All-Star game.
I'm going to Chicago Wolves tonight.
You are going to be at Chicago Wolves for country night?
Yeah, they're playing the Texas Stars, ironically enough.
Yeah, that'll be Texas Stars on country night. What else was I seeing that I was like, oh, great. Oh, it's the Blackhawks are playing the actual Dallas Stars. Or no, is it the Minnesota Wild? It's the Minnesota Wild on St. Patrick's Day event.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, everybody's going to be in green, and it's going to look like they're rooting for the away team.
Yeah.
So I don't know who planned this one out, but yeah, that should be a fun time. I know I was talking to our correspondent and friend of the show, Hannah Arbitman, who's been helpful with us up in Rockford for the All-Star game, but of course she's the in-game host of the Wolves, covering over there. We'll see some of your buddies over there. I'm itching to get back to a Wolves game to cover. Maybe that'll come a little bit more towards playoffs.
They're good, man. They're good.
A lot going on over at the All-State. We have the AHAI.
Last night, or was there a concert last night? Because I passed by leaving. It's just jammed. The parking lot was jammed.
Concert last night.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they played up in Grand Rapids.
Okay, gotcha.
Which they are like the only team that can consistently push that Grand Rapids team around a little bit.
We're going to have to talk to Sophia Blackburn once it comes to Wolves playoff time because, the
Grand
Wolves
Rapids
seem to have Grand
Rapids.
They
don't want to see them.
Grand Rapids has been practically undefeated if the Chicago Wolves did not exist.
Well, there's a couple teams like the Checkers, I think, shut them out here and there. But on a consistent, on a consistent basis, I would agree.
Yeah. Other than that, they are just tearing up this league, and you saw that from their All-Star nominations, whether that was Dominic Shine or who's their goaltender. Why am I drawing a blank? Apologies. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Oh, for Grand Rapids?
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he is a bit. Yeah, because Michael Layton.
Will be upset with me. Yeah, and even Scott Darling. Griffins. I think it's is it Casa?
Yeah, something. I think it's Masa.
We'll find that out. But in the meantime, did you have a Mamma Mia?
Or did you have a wheel?
Or a wheel?
I'm fine with either one. I got wheels ready, and I got
Sebastian Cosa.
Cosa, that's what it is. I knew it was okay.
Let's do the wheel. Mike hasn't been here.
I've only done one wheel with you guys, I think.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got like 10 minutes left.
Plus, our Mamma Mia is basically the Chicago Bears this week, so, you know.
Oh, I think it's Tony Clark.
I got a couple.
Tony Clark, yeah.
I got two Mamma Mias for sure.
Oh, you got two?
Yeah, but...
what's your hand telling you?
Yeah.
The Canadian curling guy.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew.
Well, like I said, if we're getting into Mamma Mia's, I'll spill one right now. It's WWE for sure right now because we have the Elimination Chamber happening in Chicago at the United Center next week, Saturday. Some really cool events right there. But, similar to how, people going down to the barn to watch the Olympics, well, you would think there would be some sort of like watch party for wrestling and all that. Well, the WWE went ahead and scrapped all of that. They went ahead and there's a bunch of organized, like smaller groups that were, exactly that, having a watch party.
Oh.
Nope. If you're within a certain radius of the United Center, if you're in the Chicago area, all those are gone. They want you to they're blacking it out, and they're making you basically, hey, $600 to get in the door over to the United Center. You go buy tickets now. That's the only way you're gonna be able to do it.
Wow. Yep. Or they come out to Elgin. We're not in city limits.
Exactly right. So come on down here, man.
Yeah, maybe WRMN should start throwing
have a party next door.
Not opposed to it. Not opposed to it. So yeah, it's just WWE and TKO being greedy pigs.
Yikes.
Gotta stop doing that.
Yikes.
So maybe we'll bookend it. Like I'll start with a Mamma Mia. We'll go to the wheel and then we'll end with a
I like it.
Let's spin the wheel. Let's get some interaction going. What are we talking about today?
The wheel of wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Well, there you have it. Here we go. Well, we kind of talked about him just now with Yuki Kawamura. Yuki Kawamura being, again, like the labeled as almost like a mascot, but he is the hot commodity right now. What was maybe the last time you had this same feeling for a different player where exactly that? Where they were like
a good one.
Brought in, they were like, highly, basically seen as like the cash cow or something like that. There's a big marketing piece right now. Or there was some, it's had some really big hype to it.
It's got to be Linsanity, right? Like for the Knicks. I mean, you could argue the Tigers are doing that now with Justin Verlander, I think, a little bit with the whole nostalgia play.
A little bit.
We're talking like brought in to be like the fan favorite. And,
that or, I kind of see like Yermin Mercedes had that same vibe with the White Sox. Like, he came out of nowhere. He's just kind of cool, like, kind of a cool like feeling around him. But kind of petered out, unfortunately. I don't know.
I feel like I have to say this one because I bought a jersey and I should have looked at the contract extensions. It was Yolmer Sanchez, who was that pep rally guy on the side for the White Sox and
Gold Glove winner, Yolmer Sanchez.
Yes, great utility player for the White Sox, and then it just kind of all fizzled out. So.
Which is one of my favorite. If you play Immaculate Grid, that's one of my favorite go-tos. Yolmer Sanchez in Gold Glove, and then anytime I see
was it
like
.001?
Yeah, exactly. And then in like Cy Young, I always put Steve Stone.
Nice.
No one ever guesses Steve's all Stevie.
Steve's a great guy.
That's a good question, though.
We can get another one in here, another one or two. We got a couple. We got some time. Here we have it. Well, again, kind of mentioned him earlier. The MLB PA getting in trouble.
Tony Clark, baby.
Yeah, Tony Clark getting in trouble. My simple question to you, kind of flipping it. Who right now would maybe be a worst representative for the MLB PA if they were to throw one out there? I mean,
worse than that?
If there is one, or you can get positive. Who would you actually want out there to represent the MLB PA?
Well, worse, anybody from the Cleveland Guardians organization right now with all the scandals going on, with the alleged betting that the players are denying
Class A and everything.
But if you put any of them in that office, I think things go.
Sticks up his hand, like, you know what? I got you, boys.
The only good thing about that is I think there'd be a team in Vegas much quicker than what we're going at right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Who would be a good? I feel like a good former player, maybe like a Jason Varitek or I don't know, just why not Derek Jeter? Maybe. I mean, he kind of has like
he's got that bad reputation from what happened in Miami with the GM position.
That's fair.
As a player and as a human being, I respect the guy. I think he's a really good class act.
I'm trying to think of like who would be a good like you said, a good like human being first. Like when you think of that guy, you're like, oh yeah, this guy's definitely a good human.
At this point, we could probably put John Rocker in there, and he'd be okay. He'd be
I got a guy that would probably fit both questions.
Joe
be
Madden?
like that mascot, but also be a good person for the PA. Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
Well, he's got some skeletons too, unfortunately.
True. Hey, he survived the gunshot wound, though. I like it. That man. Yeah. I'd take him.
That's a good question.
Maybe AJ Przinsky too.
Maybe AJ.
He wouldn't do it, but
my
boy.
Okay. Well, that's pretty
Buster
cool.
Posey.
Buster Posey. Dustin Pedroia.
That's always fun. We don't always get to this one, but I always have it on there just in case, kind of like an evergreen type deal. On this day in sports history, and you can maybe tell me what the more important ones that I kind of list off of here. So we go as far back as 1931. Here we go. 1931 on this day, Chicago White Sox and the New York Giants play their first exhibition night game for the first time.
Nice.
1948, NASCAR is incorporated.
In February? Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. In 1953, the longest collegiate basketball game, 6 overtimes. Niagara beats Siena 88-81.
Who could forget that instant classic?
This one's a pretty solid one. 1969, excuse me. Ted Williams signs a 5-year contract to manage the Washington Senators.
Okay.
The year before that, baseball announced a minimum annual salary of, would you like to guess? 1968.
For baseball?
A minimum annual salary was brought in for baseball in 1968.
$1,000.
No, it's low, but you're not too far off.
$5,000?
You're a little bit warmer and still low. $10,000.
$10,000 in that time.
$10,000, and again, kind of sparking up that conversation.
How many games did they play back then?
I don't think
They
it was
played
even
a
100.
lot. They
was
played
it?
a lot still. They didn't
Okay.
play like
Was it?
160, but they still played a decent
If
amount.
they were having exhibition games in February, and I don't think they were down in southern states at that time. So
I mean, San Fran's not warm in February either.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That might have been in San Fran. Yeah, good
I'll
point.
run through a couple more. 1973 Chicago Blackhawks record 262nd NHL game without being shut out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty solid work by the boys. And let's see. Let's finish off with a decent one. Meeting of interest. This one says 1989. Pete Rose meets with the MLB commissioner Peter Urabroth. Oh my, that's gonna be my bad. To discuss his gambling. So this is kind of started that whole stir.
R.I.P.
Of that. And again, I'm again on that side of get him in the hall. This
Literally.
is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I think that last one would probably be the thing that sticks out in people's minds most.
Just recency bias. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say, did you say it was Ted Williams that signed that?
It's Ted Williams, 69, signing a 5-year contract with the
Big
Washington.
name right there. I'll go with Ted Williams.
Yes, indeed. Do we want to go one more, or do we want to hit some Mamma Mia's?
Yeah, let's.
We got one more.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get some.
We got
This
a
is
couple minutes left
the
here.
last time in a little while that we're going to have this kind of free time on the show because we've got, of course, we just had AHL All-Star. We're going to have Olympics. It's going to be the World Baseball Championships. Baseball is coming, folks, and World Baseball Classic, excuse me. But then also, no, the championships that are happening down in is it Mexico this year? We're going to be talking to Josh Schaub, the commissioner for the American Association, because a lot of the Cougars are going to be represented in there. So a lot of baseball tournaments on the horizon. March Madness. What am I forgetting, guys? We just had Super Bowl. It went Super Bowl, Olympics, Masters, AHL All-Star Game, March Madness. Oh gosh, we're running out of time. What's this last one?
This last one was Baja Blast, now the official soda of the MLB.
No way we're ending this.
We're starting and ending with it. What would you do? What would you make your official drink of your life? I'm gonna go with just basically any Mountain Dew variation.
Portillo's chocolate shake.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that is a good one. I'm a big fan of the milkshakes. I mean, I do drink coconut water every morning.
Okay.
So I'm a big coconut water guy. I like the potassium in the morning. I'm getting old, so I gotta keep the muscles and the bones good.
Okay.
Gotta keep it just right.
Yeah, God, you would find a way to end this on Mountain Dew. Look at you. We need to call them and see if we get a sponsorship going. Like, hey, we'd love to plug Mountain Dew on our show.
Would not be opposed to that. That's
Send us a case in the mail.
Kind of the personal goal. At the end all be all. Of this.
Yeah.
If I could be like Russell Westbrook getting sponsored by Mountain Dew, I'm not opposed to it. But guys, this is a fantastic episode. WRMN 1410 on the rise. Make sure you like, subscribe, share us around. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Love you guys.
Hi, this is Sherry Aschenbrenner, Vice President of Dementia Friendly Elgin Area. Everyone knows somebody living with dementia. Caregivers and friends of those with dementia are always welcome at our Elgin Area Memory Cafe, always the second Tuesday of every month